So there's this new trend going around where people are taking the Nuke-Style and assets and putting them into other maps. Now, I've already seen Cache done this way. I didn't cover the Cache one. I might go back and show that one off as well. But the one that we're going to be on today is going to be Nuke, or Nust2, which is Dust2 and Nuke-Style. It's so basically what this map is we're sitting in T-spawn right now, and you can see that everything basically looks like it's on Nuke now, or a Nuke variant or version of Dust 2. Now, with the Portugal video that I made, I went through and explained how it would be good for competitive and whatever the case may be. This one I am taking purely as fun. We're just going to go around the map. I'm going to say what I think of the map and the different areas, because there are some things that are changed. But just keep in mind that, no one's going to play this map competitively. There's 0% chance of that. It's more just a fun experiment that people are messing around with. And I think you guys may enjoy seeing these different versions of maps, as well as your brain probably hurting because it's going to be a weird version of Nuke, more or less. So sitting in T-spawn right here, we're going to head towards A to begin with. We get the dusty ramp changed out for the cobblestone, or asphalt, I should say. Actually, I don't know, I said cobblestone. The asphalt kind of like walkways and paths now. So obviously Nuke, we got the rafters, we got the silos, we got everything going on that's basically indicative of Nuke. I think I can get up here though. Nope. Okay, so, and then ladders don't do anything. But this is kind of like what double doors became now. It became quad doors, I guess, because there's 4 doors here. That all filter into this one set of double doors. That's going to lead you out into like this version of like A long, which is kind of weird. Everything about this map feels very claustrophobic. Even like walking into here, like this area is fine. Actually feels bigger. But once you walk into here, it's very claustrophobic. You can get up on top of these boxes actually, which, tell me this doesn't feel claustrophobic. This is like extremely claustrophobic, because there's literally, you have to go exactly like this to walk out. It's just ridiculously claustrophobic. The ceilings also are tiny. But anyways, we're walking into A long here. We got our, our nice little ramp area, which is always the case. We got this little like walkway, this little rafter that is on top of here now. I'm not sure what I think of this. Again, I'm not trying to say anything about the competitiveness of it, but it seems like he took his own little alterations on the map, trying to be like, here's what I'd like to see in a new Dust version. And I think this is basically what he was saying, is like, he wants probably something up here where you could be like shooting, and then if they push, you can drop down. You have the ability to have some like cover and to peek, and to like just play a little bit better than being left out to die if your teammate rotates back or dies up there and you're left alone on long. And I do want to actually take a look at some of these Dust 2 like conversions that are coming out, or what people want to see in the new one. I did an Inferno one previously before the new Inferno came out, and you guys seem to like that. So I'm going to try and find some Dust 2 ones. And if you have any Dust 2 ones that you'd like to suggest, please let me know about those. But A long is very congested now. There is a lot of stuff to block off here. Now, the thing with Dust 2 for me is I don't think there's actually anything wrong with Dust 2. I don't like Dust 2, but I think Dust 2, the reason that everyone plays it so much is because it's very simple to learn, and it's very like 50-50 in terms of like who wins, a CT or a T. So people love it for that reason in reality. And putting all these boxes and stuff in here, I don't actually know. I feel like it may just kind of clutter this up, give people, I don't understand the point of it, in all honesty, because even still sitting like over here, which isn't really that, doesn't offer you much coverage now. So you may have to sit like, yeah, I don't know. He kind of changed the flow of A long from the way that it previously was. I don't really think there's like any good area to try and hold from over here now without completely exposing yourself. And that may have been his intention. You gotta, if you want to play A long, you either gotta play it close up, or you gotta play from like here, I guess. And then, but then if they push you, you have to expose yourself into the open. So that actually is a nice change now that I think about it. That might be one of the most subtle things that could kind of use a change in like the remake of Dust 2, is kind of making it not so easy just to hide behind the barrels here and just kind of like peek with an op or something and constantly get kills. Have to play a little bit more forward and, you know, give up that, or basically trade cover for ability to get away. So, if you want cover, you don't have the ability to get away, basically. And yeah, I don't think there's anything else going on there. Just so you know, you can't climb this ladder. I already tried, unfortunately. Something weird that I'm not quite sure why it was put in here is like this little walkway that walks around over to here. I guess it's basically to sort of, because he kind of like made this a little weirder. I think it's a little shorter, if I'm not mistaken, in terms of the length of this. This whole platform feels kind of short. And again, the constant theme of this map is claustrophobia. It feels very claustrophobic. But yeah, I don't know what to think of this. This is very odd. I'd like to know what you guys think of this style of thing, because I guess I'm gonna basically view this as a fun map, but also sort of just like, you know, what's going on with this? Why did he took some, you know, some leisure in creating this map and some liberties with the actual like layout. We got a big box here. You can't actually jump on top of it, unfortunately. So you can play like this. I guess that's to give you a little bit of a better advantage on CT side playing here. But if you see this choke and this bottleneck that exists right here, this is just the oddest thing. Look at the size of this door. It's like you can't even jump in it, really. And then if you try to jump down it, nope, not happening. Tough cookies. Can't jump up either. So instead of having basically mid go like this, and then you wrap around through here, you have to keep going straight, and I believe probably going over, well, not directly going over, but more or less going over CT spawn to walk in to cat, which is peculiar to say the least. I'm not sure what to make of that. But then we're in mid. Mid is pretty much the same. There's a little bit more cover over here where you can get a couple of different elevations in terms of where you want to play from, but nothing too crazy. What's going on over there? Never mind. I saw a red dot on the map. I'm just like, did somebody join my game? But yeah, so mid's kind of the same. Suicide's kind of the same. This openness that has always existed. You can't actually shoot through these. The material, you know, kind of doesn't allow you to do that. I guess if you're sitting up close, it might come through. I haven't actually tested that, nor will I test it because, again, it's really not meant to be a competitive map. But then we get into, let's go into CT spawn first before I show you what's going on over here. So this is just the ramp up. This is a forklift, which basically just replaces the crates that existed there before. I don't know if I can actually, yeah, I guess you can play up here. Can you, oh, and then you can get up. Oh, so you can self-boost. Okay. Interesting. So you don't need another person to boost you up. You can just self-boost now. But that's kind of the ramp up. It's the CT ramp up. And then we go into Claustrophobia City, which is obviously the constant theme of this map, where he basically just condensed this. I'm not sure why this was condensed. It feels very odd that it was condensed. But, you know, who am I to say what's good and what's bad? But then, whoa, that was interesting. I want to do that again. Kind of just like, oh. Well, that's kind of, sorry, I'm off in my own little world here. So, it's like these boxes don't actually act like boxes. They act like a ramp. So you don't have to jump up anything, you just walk up. That's very weird, but okay. Anyways, welcome to B-Site. B-Site is pretty much the same. You know, all that basically happened here was they replaced those Dust 2 crates for more of these like tote style like crates, I guess. Modern crates, if you will. Industrialized civilizational crates. And then they kind of changed the position of where the broken wall is. It's a little bit further over like here. But again, he kind of changed the aspect, like ratios of areas. Like he sort of like made them shorter, but a little bit wider at the same time. And then he got rid of, obviously, the little like scaffolding that you can stand over here. But there's not room for that when you completely condense that area. But yep, B site, not much has changed. The little head glitch peak area is still here. So, still good old Dust 2 B site. So not much going on over there. We got a little radio hallway that is always in every one of these maps. And then we got our finalist trophy right here for the major. Then we got our tunnels. I guess this is still considered upper tunnels, even though it's kind of weird. And then lower tunnels, which is now just a straight kind of like, path up and down. Allows you to peek up a little bit differently, I guess, but still the same. But again, claustrophobia, everything feels very condensed, very like small. And I'm not sure why that was done like that, but claustrophobia, the map. Then we head out here. This is pretty much the same, just kind of like retrofitted into Nuke-Style, like the entirety of the map. But this doesn't really suffer from the claustrophobia. If you look down here, it kind of does, but nothing down there. No Easter eggs, nothing, just doors. That is one of the main things that bothers me about like these Nuke maps, is that they put these doors in. I'm just like, I just want these to be open. I don't know what I want to be on the other side, but I just want there to be something there. This is still the same for the most part. Again, just condensed claustrophobia, yada, yada, yada. Instead of being wider and this being longer, it is all pushed back. So it's like right out of spawn, you're already here. Instead of having that little wraparound where the car was and then, over. But I think I've covered the entire map then. Yeah, I'm not forgetting anything. We've covered the entire map. So I kind of just want to hear what you guys have to say about this map. What do you think about it? Do you want to see more of these style maps just to kind of mess with your brain and to just explore some of the stuff that exists on the workshop right now? Because I think it's really cool. I do want to explore more of the competitive maps and actually give critiques on them and that. I like those type of videos. But you guys seem to like and still like the DE Dusty Mirage video that I made, which was kind of just a weird alteration of mixing Dust 2 and Mirage together. So I wanted to do this, see if you guys like this, and if you do, I'll cover the cache one as well, and then any subsequent ones that people make or come out with, because I think they're pretty cool, very interesting to say the least, just to see what different versions of maps that we've been playing for years and years at this point will look like with a new style. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.